to 1 over Luke Scoggins will be Roper.
And on with something that, or obviously would have the one out. When you're down by 8 runs, you need all the base runners you can get, but starting with the bottom out, not the best way to start. So they continue on, see if they can actually turn things around, get some
Momentum into 2 away. But the Valiants need to find that momentum and pot in this inning. However, in the bottom of the
you
third,
don't need to get all 8 runs back at once. You're down by 8. If you can get 1 or 2 in the next inning, you can just slowly build your way back into the game. But obviously only third inning, but as we go further out of them, and the way you can.
Exactly, and the worry is about running out of time. But Conklin steps into the plate, pitch. That's in there for a strike. So the count is a 1-1 count, 2 away. Jacob looking for another 1-2-3 innings, the 1-1 taken outside, 2-1.
Conklin coming into today, no hit so far in this game, but batting .318 on the season, so he has found ways to get on base and be productive when he has those opportunities. So obviously 2 out, nobody on, a tough situation, but we'll see if he'll be able to get something started for Manhattanville.
And Conklin last game produced a big RBI spot of the game for the Valiants with a big double of his own that brought home a few runs as the pitch taken inside, ball 4. So Conklin works a 2-out walk, and coming up to the plate now will be Luke Scoggins.
Scoggins certainly the person you'd want to come up in a situation with 2 outs. Obviously 2 out, a man on first, not the ideal situation to be in, but if you're looking for somebody that has the potential of driving that run from first, one swing of the bat, it could be Luke Scoggins batting .455 on the season.
And Scoggins on the day already 1 for 1 with a double into the gap. So that's a big thing when coming up to the plate right now in this situation. As the first pitch to Scoggins, taken high, 1-0. So as you mentioned, a .455 average. And when we talk about that, it's incredible, because what Scoggins has been able to do is use his hands at such a great value as the 1-0.
That was taken outside, I believe.
Yep. But when we talk about what Scoggins has been able to do, just sitting there using his hands driving pitches, we saw it in the first game where Scoggins really sat back on a few breaking balls and we were able to hit it into the gaps for 2 hits in that game, as the 2-0 taken low, 3-0. But what Scoggins has been able to do has been incredible, and he's having what you would say is a dominant season in terms of over 400. Something that's not seen as often as Scoggins thought he walked to the pitch. Going to be called a strike, 3-1. So Jacob putting himself with a good start thus far, as the 3-1 swung on and missed by Scoggins. Count goes to full. But Jacob putting together a good start, 1-1, 3 hits thus far. And similar to Koch in the last game, Koch having a very strong outing, 6 1/3 of innings with only 2 earned runs. So it'll be a full count to Scoggins. The pitch taken inside, ball 4. So back-to-back walks for Conklin and Scoggins, and now Matero, the cleanup hitter, will stand in for the Valiants. And if you're the Valiants, this is a big opportunity here. Back in game 1, they really relied on 2-out situations, getting few RBIs with both Conklin and also getting an RBI situation as well for Schaefer as a pickoff attempt not in time. But when you look at that, Valiant's really taking those opportunities with 2 outs to bring home some runners. This situation ever so important for Matero, especially in that cleanup position to produce some runs.
And Valiant's not off to a great start in this inning. The first 2 guys got out. You're able to get a few guys on base, and now it's important, certainly being down 8 runs, to be able to capitalize on the situation. You got a few guys on base, and you have an opportunity to chip in a lead. Need to be able to do so, particularly here when you have runners in scoring position, 2 out.
Wow, working him inside 2-0. And again, Jacob behind the count here. So back to back, basically back to back to back batters by getting behind an account down 2-0 and make it 3-0. Yet again, so another 3-0 count, and we could be looking at potentially bases loaded for the Valiants and Stephen Merrill stepping up to the plate if Matero can draw a walk.
Now Jacob, I think the catcher Hendrik Guinta going to go out and try to just relax Jacob a little bit. Obviously, falling behind 3-0, have to figure you're going to be taking at least the next one, probably maybe even the next two will be Matero.
And it has to be pretty obvious now that seeing that those many balls in a row as the 3-0 called for strike 3 and 1, that you would be taking maybe one or two pitches here, because you've seen now, I believe it's about 13, 14 balls in this inning compared to the strike count, which even in the first two batters of the inning, Jacob got a little bit behind in the count. So when you look at that, perhaps maybe you continue working counts and take a few more pitches than you usually would. And selectivity is a very important part when we talk about baseball in general. And pitch selection is going to be important as a step off.
We're thinking about a pickoff, but able to get back to the bat quickly. And Jacob's obviously a lot easier work in the first few innings. Run into a little bit of trouble here, but still in a position to be able to get himself out of it with a 3-1 count. You have Matero at the plate, batting .312 on the season with the 2 home runs, so certainly has the ability to maybe shoot one into the gap or maybe even put one over the fence.
So the 3-1 from Jacob is crushed foul out of play. I believe going back there on the pickoff, I believe Jacob, what had happened was he missed potentially a sign from the catcher on a throw down the second, which they were going to try a backdoor, but that's the reason why the shortstop went over to talk to him. But anyways, a full count now with 2 away. Runners are going to take off. And that's going to be lined. That's going to be a base hit. Rounding and scoring will be Conklin. Scoggins will get over to third. And just like that, the Valiants get a big run here to now close the deficit within 7 as they trail 9-2 now, and runners still in scoring position for Merrill.
Obviously, like we said, you don't have to get it back all at once. You can get one run. Obviously, runners at first and third now, you'd like to at least be able to get another one across. It's all happening after 2 out and nobody on, so you're happy really either way with it when you looked like an inning that was going to just go 1, 2, 3 and you weren't going to get anything out of it. So happy to get the 1 run, but now an opportunity to do even more damage, cut into the lead even more.
As the first pitch taken inside, 1-0. And Merrill on the season, another big player. I mean, 0 for 1 today with a strikeout, but a .259 average, 2 home runs, and 10 RBIs on the season. As I believe that pitch was actually, it was just a step off in the meeting.
I believe the pitch went outside, and then now the catcher Quinto going to go out and have another conversation with Jacob.
You're 100% right. It counts 2-0. It's hard to a little bit see from this angle.
We are some 450 feet away.
So the 2-0 pitch popped up and fouled back, I should say, 2-1. That's something I'll tell you, Merrill's done very strongly throughout his appearances throughout the season. When we talk about being ahead in the count in hitters' counts, he's done a great job taking advantage of those as the 2-1 called for a strike, 2-2.
Well, that's obviously the position you prefer to be in as the batter ahead in the count. You know you're going to get a pitch to hit, and when he's gotten the opportunity and gotten the pitches to hit, he's made the most of them.
I'm interested to see here now in the 2-2 count if Jacob goes to the breaking ball as the 2-2, and that's going to be inside, a little bit close. But we've seen Jacob really rely on the fastball throughout the majority, which is why maybe throw off a few hitters, going to that breaking ball and counts unexpected. But anyways, another full count for the Valiants here is Merrill looking either for a big hit here or a walk. As the full count pitch. Swung on and missed, and the inning is over. But the Valiants score 1 run on 1 hit, 2 walks. We head to the top of the 4th inning. Misericordia leads it over the Valiants 9-2. This is going to be one of those games that take 4 hours to complete 7 minutes. Probably around 8 or 9. Oh boy. I remember when we did the softball game a few games back when they had their home opener here, and they were only playing 1 game, and they finished their doubleheader before baseball was even done. And they were playing, oh my god. Who did they play? They won the game too, but they barely won it. Yeah. No, it was not a conference game. Obviously not a conference game. So, oh, William Patterson. And they were like up the entire game. They beat it. I think it ended to like a 1 or 2 run game. So we head now into the top of the 4th inning. As leading it off will be Wisensee.
Wisensee 2 for 2 on the day, 317 average on the season, so he's done his damage certainly today to this point.
As the pitch is going to be hit down between the second base gap, and that's going to be the 3rd hit of the day for Wisensee. As I tell you, great handwork, and Wisensee having a decent first game as well, giving himself a 3-hit game here.
Sometimes just a matter of where you hit it instead of how hard you hit it. That one not hit particularly hard, but found its way through the infield, and leadoff man on for Misericordia as they look to, at the very least, get that run back that they gave up in the bottom of the 3rd.
And Misericordia matching their run and hit total of last game only here in the 4th inning, as they've gotten their 8th hit of the game here. As the first pitch is fouled back. So the Valiants just trying to have a clean inning here is they're looking to have the first inning where they don't allow a run, and really now after scoring a run you kind of want to answer back and try to have a shutdown inning as the pitch is taken low, 1-1.
And that's the thing, like you obviously, like we said, don't need to get it back all at once, but if you give those runs back, it's essentially pointless. You're able to not only tack on those runs and chip away little by little, but not let many more off the board. It's now a wild pitch.
So it's going to put a runner on second now, and that runner being Wisensee. Also at the plate right now is Sean Lyons, 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI, 298 on the season as well. As the pitch. Taken inside, and it'll go to 2-1 on the count.
I think the batter may have thought that one hit him. Umpire apparently disagreed. He put his bat down. Looked like he was about to head down to first, but slipped right back in.
Pitch. Be grounded down the shortstop gap. It's going to be a base hit. Taking a big turn and going back to first will be Lyons. So you're going to have runners on the corners with no outs. and Bixler stepping up to the plate for Misericordia. So Bixler will step in. Bixler on the day 0 for 2 with the strikeout, and he looks here to be getting what I would say is a ideal big RBI situation for Misericordia's. They could, even though the game differential is pretty big, could seal the game here if they get a few runs.
Well, it's been broken up into a certain extent here, but they're able to tack on a few more here.
This ball's grounded short. To be fielded, flipped over to second and over to first for a double play. A great turn there by Pete Iannarelli. Gets 2 down, but the run will score. And Boylan will now step into the plate with 2 away with no one on.
In a different situation where it's a relatively closer game, you'll take that every time. You'll trade the run for the 2 outs, but being down 7 runs, now down by 8 as the league descended to 10-2, you can't afford to trade runs for outs really anymore at this point.
And I tell you, looking at that left side of the infield, it's been a really, really long day for Iannarelli, Schaefer, and even in the outfield for Lynch. They've seen a lot of balls coming their way. So to be very consistent has been something that's been very impressive thus far, as the first pitch is called for a strike 0-1. Ball's going to be lined in for a base hit. So Boylan with the base hit, and Concadoro will step up to the plate for Misericordia with 2 away. Concadoro here with 4 RBIs. He's 0 for 0 today with a walk. As the first pitch, I believe that's called for a strike on the outside corner. So Cotrelli sets, deals the 0-1. Swung on a missed 0-2. Oh, they're actually going to say foul ball. So
I think the runner down on first thought the ball got past the catcher, and Boylan was about to take off down to second, but calling back as someone just getting a piece of it was Concadoro.
Well, that was the case. Boylan was getting ready to take off, and then the umpire signaled that it was indeed a foul ball. But anyways, an 0-2 count here with 2 away. Taking low and outside, count goes to 1-2. And on deck for Misericordia, a guy that had a great game out of Jarema, making some excellent defensive plays and also a few big hits for Misericordia in game 1 as the 1-2. Fouled down the first base line, out of play. And especially right now, if you're the Valiants, knowing that this is the 9-hitter, you don't want to go into the rest of this inning in trouble knowing that you're going to face the leadoff spot. You want to end it off right here, as that ball is going to be taken low. Count goes to 2-2.
On top of that, just really can't afford to give up any more base runners, any more runs at this point. You're down by 8, going in the bottom of the 4th, so any opportunity you have to get out of the inning, as giving up as little runs as possible, you need to take advantage of it if you want any hope of getting back into this one.
And when we talk about, plate discipline, as that pitch is going to be popped up and fielded, that's going to end the inning. So Misericordia continues their streak of putting up runs as they put up 1 run on 2 hits. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Valiants trail 10-2 against Misericordia here on Quad Jam. So Inarelli leads off here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Valiant's trail 10-2. As the first pitch taken outside by Inarelli. I believe that pitch also taken outside.
We've seen it in the last inning or two. Jacob obviously struggling a little bit with his command. Walked a few batters in there in the last inning. Now falls behind on 9. They're really 3-0. So that's something that if you're Manhattanville, down by 8 runs, you need to try to take advantage of. Make them throw strikes. Look for walks. Any way you can get guys on base.
And Inarelli, 1-for-1 on the days. That pitch is called a strike. But Inarelli doing a good job also in game one, getting a few hits. Really being productive and in his plate appearances thus far. Is also looking at Inarelli's day yet again. He said 1-for-1. And his at-bats have been very productive. That ball is hit down the first baseline, foul. And the count will be full. Pitch fouled back. Count will remain full there. 2 walks, 2 earned runs, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts as Inarelli fouled one off. So Pete's putting together a really strong at-bat, I'd say. Working Joseph a ton. But he'll get him there, swung on and missed. 1 away for Misericordia.
That's something we talked about in the last inning, too. Need to be able to get the leadoff guy on. Manhattanville, in that last inning, the first 2 guys were retired, still able to get a run across. But if you'd gotten one or even both of those guys on base, imagine how much more damage you could have done. So starting off with the leadoff man being retired, obviously not the ideal situation.
And now for the Valiants, Schaefer will step into the plate. 0-for-1 on the day. Away. Or, excuse me, Jacob looking at another potential 1-2-3 inning as he's done that twice thus far in this game. And the only other 2 where he hadn't had that happen, he allowed a run in each of those innings. As the first pitch taken low. The pitch taken outside. I actually apologize. The count is 1-1. So Corrigan lines that down the line. Foul. The count goes to 1-2. But Corrigan pinch hitting a 308 average on the season with 1 RBI and 4 runs scored. So he's putting together a pretty solid at bat here as the pitch. Taken inside, the count will go to 2-2. So the 2-2 to Corrigan. Taken low and the count goes to full. It'll be a 3-2. Ball forward low. So Corrigan works a 2-out walk, similar to what the Valiants were able to do last inning, as they had 2 2-out walks and then a base hit from Scoggins that brought home a run.
And maybe just look to repeat that same formula. If you can scratch out some walks, get a hit, get a run across. Obviously, down by 8, you'd like to get more, but take anything you can get right now. But eventually, you're going to have to start getting multiple hits in a row, getting multiple runs across. Being down by 8, you're already in the bottom of the 4th.
As that pitch is popped up out of play, and I apologize, Matero with the RBI in play. Matero has lost both of the Valiant RBIs this game, as the other one being off a sacrifice fly back in the first. As the 0-1 taken low, 1-1. So Roper looking to continue the inning as that pitch is taken inside 2-1. So the 2-1 hit down to third base. It's going to be thrown over to second, and the inning is over. So the Valiants work a walk, but that's all they're able to do as Misericordia gets out of the minor trouble. We head to the top of the fifth. Misericordia leads at 10-2 over the Valiants. College.
Sadly, I'm not that lucky.
Late tonight. All I know is there's going to be so many people that are drunk that they're going to probably have ambulances here like crazy. Last year it was bad because I heard they had like 12 or 13 kids. Because I went and did another tournament for
12 or 13 kids, what?
They had like taken out by ambulance.
I heard they had a rock wall. I hope that's still up.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Apparently right now they've been to Jerry's there.
Yeah. I only have $2 with me though, so it's a problem.
Well, I think they're doing it for free.
Oh, really? I can get food and all that?
Yeah, they're handing out stuff for free. They just bring the trucks up.
Fucking let's go.
They
Good for them.
Since like orientation came out, they're like, oh yeah, orientation, we have all these food trucks here and everything. Get stuff for free.
My college went most of my orientation.
All right, so we head now to the top of the fifth inning. As Contrelli continues to deal for the Valiants, Harema will step in as he's 0 for 1 on the day. However, 2 walks also on his day, as that pitch is going to be a base hit down the third base line. So lead-off single for Misericordia as they continue to be a threat here in the early going of every single inning, it seems.
Yeah, and that's been a big part of the difference. They've been able to get the leadoff guys on. Manhattanville hasn't. When you're starting behind the 8 ball, as much as Manhattanville has, with the first guy being retired, obviously your chances for getting a run across go down significantly. So Misericordia being able to take advantage of the opportunities with their leadoff batters.
Yeah, but now I'm mentioning that Misericordia has 10 runs, but 11 hits in the game, as that ball's going to be fielded by Anarelli. Over to first, and it's going to be a double play. So the Valiants get a big double play there, and they're looking now for their first shutout inning thus far in the game. Is, again, just crediting Misericordia. It's incredible that they've been able to score 10 runs thus far, but also the fact that they've been able to score at least 1 run every inning thus far to this point has been something that's been incredible.
Yeah, they haven't had, one inning where they just loaded up and batted around, things like that. Every inning they've been consistent. Like you said, they're just finding ways to get leadoff guys on base, getting guys over, and finding ways to drive them in. That's something Manhattanville hasn't been able to do today, and it's shown up on the scoreboard.
As the first pitch taken inside, and this goes all the way back to even the 7th inning of last game, where Misericordia scored 4 runs off a grand slam. So if you look at Misericordia's past 4 innings, they've put up a total now of 14 runs going from last game to this game. That's something that's certainly unique. And also you have to go back to even yesterday, where Misericordia, I believe, won 13-5. So a lot of runs in this series for Misericordia.
Well, they're one of the best teams in the conference for a reason. They're finding ways to get guys on base, getting them home, as that one fouled out of play. And that's something, obviously, like we just said, Manhattanville hasn't been able to do. They've gotten a few opportunities, gotten guys on base here and there, but not able to get them across the plate.
And I think one more important thing to emphasize as Contrelli gets ready to deal the 2-1, taken outside, but almost every single hitter in that starting lineup for Misericordia and even on the bench is batting almost above a 300, which is something that's certainly unique. When everyone's producing, it shows as the 3-1's taken outside for ball 4. But when everyone's batting above a 300, it just shows how important that production can be and that you can rely on anyone no matter who's on the field.
Yeah, it's not like you just have one or two guys that are doing the bulk of the heavy lifting for the team. They're getting contributions up and down the lineup from number 1 to number 9. They're finding guys that are able to get on base in any way, getting hits, walks, whatever the case may be, and the other guys in the lineup finding ways to get them home, and it's resulting in them being obviously one of the best teams in the conference.
So Guinta steps into the plate as the first pitch is taken for a ball. Guinta 2 for 3 on the day with 3 RBIs. Also, to end out Game 1, he had a grand slam in the top of the 7th inning for his 6th home run of the year. Also, with the 3 RBIs here in this game, his stat line now is 6 home runs and 29 RBIs on a 280 average. As that pitch is popped up, hustling to make the play, and now would be, and the inning is over. So Misericordia strands the runner on first, and the Valiants get out of it as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Valiants trail 10-2. Even MLB The Show has a mercy rule. That's a video game. I believe so. That's what I understood. Because they are also giving cafeteria meal tickets as well for guests. So I could be wrong, but that's like what I heard, is that they're doing everything for free. Because then also the thing is too, it's like half of the kids will walk up with credit cards, and I don't think they can pay credit cards in their food trucks. Oh, they went to a new pitcher this inning. I think he was side armor. Zurowski? Zurowski? Zurowski. Gil Martin's hitting. It's like 2 at-bats too. So we head now to the bottom of the 5th inning as new pitcher in for Misericordia. It'll be Zurowski, and batting for the Valiants will be Gil Martin. So Zurowski on the year, no ERA, no runs allowed, 7 in the 3rd innings pitched, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts. And Gil Martin on the season, a .500 average, was 3 runs scored and an RBI as the pitch. Taken outside 1-0. As the 1-0 from Zurowski brushed Gil Martin off, goes to 2-0. As I'll tell you what, it's not an easy thing facing a side armor. Definitely at the plate. It's a lot of deception that goes on as the 2-0 taken high 3-0.
No, certainly, it's a different look that you've gotten from pretty much every other pitcher you've faced. So certainly an adjustment to be made, but so far,
as the 3-0's called for a strike.
Zurowski was the first one. I was about to say not able to find the strike zone, but able to get one over there.
Well, and you look at it too. It's a common deception as the ball's going to be grounded to short. Over to first, he'll retire Gil Martin 1 away. But as you were just mentioning, it's so deceiving even for a right-handed hitter for a side armor, and it's a lot easier to see the ball as a right-handed hitter against left-handed side armor. But you got to imagine how hard it's going to be for the left-handed hitters
Yeah, you're gonna
to
pick
see
that.
it.
You're gonna pick that ball up late as he's starting from a different throwing position than you would normally see. You're gonna pick it up late, and it's gonna be an adjustment that has to be made.
The first pitch is fouled back by Correcchia, but so it'll be an 0-2 to Correcchia. Take it low, 1-2. So when the Valiants have been able to produce some runs, they've been able to do it with 2 outs. Perhaps a similar story here as the count goes to 2-2. So the pitch is going to be grounded to second. It's going to be a wide throw over to first, so that's going to reach, and I'd assume that actually would be a single off a hard play, but you can't be quite sure.
I think that throw went wide. It was wide of the bag. I think they're gonna call that an error, but
Well, I
wait on the
agree with
official
you.
word.
Yeah, I agree with you on the throw, but that also was a hard play to make, so you got a question, and they're going to call it a throwing error.
Yes, they're gonna call it a throwing error on the second baseman, Adam Concadoro.
So Conquistador will get charged throwing error, and Valiants will have a runner on first. And Scoggins up to the plate as, he's with 1 away.
And if you're Manhattanville, you take it. Obviously, Luke Scoggins, one of your best hitters. You'd like to have at least get him an opportunity to have an at bat, but at this point, take base runners any way you can get them.
But I'm sure Scoggins, obviously 1 for 1 on the day, wanted to get a big hit there. Is also looking at Scoggins. That is now his, I believe, second walk of the day and the first hit by pitch of the day. As the pitch, call for a strike. 0-1. So at the plate will be Coleman. RBI situation for him. As I believe that's fouled back or swung on a missed 0-2. So it'll be an 0-2 to Coleman. Taken outside 1-2.
Well, if you're Manhattanville, like we talked about in the last few innings, you've had 2 out before you had an. Now you have 2 on with 1 out, an opportunity to try to fight your way a little bit back into this game and see what they can do.
Swung on a miss, struck him out, and 2 away for Misericordia, and stepping up to the plate will be Stephen Merrill. So Merrill will step in. Merrill, his last at bat, very productive, as he was able to work a very long at bat, which unfortunately did end up resulting in a strikeout, but it was a very long full count at bat, and potentially, for the Valiants, looking at more of those types of at bats is, while they have only scored 2 runs as the first pitch is taken high, 1-0, but you look at that in the fact of you were able to take out Jacob through 4 innings and work his count to over 80 as the 1-0 is taken outside 2-0.
Yeah, and obviously, like you said, they were able to drive the pitch count up, get him out of the game relatively early. Now, got to see if you can do the same thing with Zarowski over here, as right now you might just be in the position where you're looking for walks because he's struggled to find the strike zone and has been struggling with his command to this point.
And the 2-0 is taken outside 3-0. Or, sorry, I'm sorry, I apologize. The pitch is actually called a strike, 2-1. Swung on a miss, 2-2. So it'll be a 2-2 count to Merrill. Runners on first and second. Merrill looking for a big hit here that can change the momentum, as that's swung on and missed, and the inning is over. So the Valiants strand 2 runners off a hit and a hit by pitch We go to the top of the sixth inning. The Valiants trail 10-2 to Misericordia. What time is it right now?
It is 5:30.
So,
If you look up, you will see the effects of the quad jam.
yeah, we got DJ Earworm at 9 p.m.
Oh, he's actually pretty tired.
After party.
On campus?
I think that's the band's name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then all activities from 1 to 5 p.m. So, what is the time again? I'm sorry.
It's 5:30.
5:30. So, the dumpling and jerk pan truck is now gone. So, yeah, they're Ben and Jerry's from 5 to 7, and 10, 11 is pizza.
10 to 11 is pizza.
Yeah.
I have to wait till 10 o'clock to
To
eat.
eat, exactly.
So, if you look that way, you will see the effects of quad jam right over my shoulder.
Yes. I mean, they tossed all the beers down, and
So, I mean, there was a bunch more of them earlier. You should go over there and tell
they were bouncing the truck up and down.
I'm gonna tell Brayden go over there and clean her shit.
Doesn't she have to do interviews?
What's up?
Doesn't she have to do interviews after this?
Only if they win.
Oh, that's true.
Don't have to worry about that.
So we head to the top of the sixth inning. And leading off for Misericordia will be Wisensay, as he has 3 hits on the day in what has been 11 hits thus far for Misericordia. It's the pitch taken for a strike, and actually pinch hitting will be Carton, as actually now the 0-2 count to Carton. So the 0-2 fouled out of play.
So both teams here, as we're getting into the 6th and 7th inning, looking like they're going to go fairly deep into their benches, with this one appearing to be out of reach.
And Carton on the season, 400 average with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Lines that out of play. And the count remains at 0-2, but putting together another solid at-bat, and continue to question if Misericordia will get a leadoff base runner, as they've been able to do that every single inning thus far. It's taken high 1-2. But when we talk about producing at-bats and making very long at-bats happen, Misericordia's been able to put the bat on the ball all day today. Not many strikeouts for the Valiants pitchers, as the 1-2 lined for a base hit. So they do get the leadoff runner that we were just mentioning, and that's all from a leadoff single. And Lions will step up to the plate for Misericordia. So Lions on the day, 2 for 3 with an RBI, as the pitch taken inside 1-0. Contrelli out of the pen. He came in the 3rd inning. He's so far served up 51 pitches going to this point, as that pitch is taken for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Only 3 walks and 6 hits. No strikeouts and 2 earned runs. So solid work out of the pen for Contrelli, as the 1-1 taken low, 2-1. As Emmerich is at the plate here in pinch hitting duties for Misericordia, believe that pitch is taken outside. Count goes to 3-1. Emmerich on the year, 167 with 6 RBIs as the 3-1. Call first. No outs.
Obviously, anything can, but late to this point.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. It's going to be on first and no outs for Bixler. As Bixler takes a strike 0-1. The Valiant to Cahill. Half swing, chopped out of play. Count remains at 1-2. Looks like, too, the Valiant's getting loose in the bullpen. Perhaps this may be being Contrelli's last inning, is out of the pen, as mentioned before, at 58 now, about to be 59 pitches. So that's certainly been a ton of work, as swung on and missed, got him, and one away. So one away for the Valiants, and Boylan will step in. As the first pitch is taken inside 1-0.
Boylan 1 for 3 on the day, 250 average coming into today. Runners on first and second, an opportunity to extend that lead even further for Misericordia as we get towards the end of this game, and any insurance you can have is good. So see if he's able to scratch another one across for them.
That's going to be fielded by Honorelli. They're going to flip it over to second, but they're not going to have corners. So the Valiants trying to ease their way out of trouble here, looking at a potentially another shutout inning, but they got to get one more out here with 2 away. And we're going to have a pinch hitter here for Misericordia.
I believe we may get a pitching change as well.
So we're going to have a pitching change and a pinch hitter for both sides. And we'll get that information to you guys in a moment on who is where. As it looks like pinch hitting for Misericordia will be Lennon. And we'll have the pitching change in just a second for the Valiants. This game.
Yeah, with only 2 innings left to scrap up, Dooney just try to keep the score where it is, not let things get any more out of hand, as you're trying to, at this point, looking forward to tomorrow and just trying to get back on the winning track against Kings.
And you'd have to imagine, obviously, really being conservative for the remainder of this game. You don't want to exhaust your bullpen entirely, and I think that's something that we saw in the first game with Coach Caulfield coming out and bringing out Danny Maduri towards the end of the game, where he came out and had a little bit of a struggle with a few walks and saving your bullpen. You know, knowing that you're going into this big game against Kings, you want everyone healthy and ready for that game.
Yeah, absolutely, and something we didn't get a chance to make a note of earlier, but Coach Dale Martin of Manhattanville softball team today with his 300th career win in a game at Misericordia. So congratulations to Coach Martin there. Obviously, not the same sort of fortune here for Valiant's baseball team.
So we have both new pitcher and pinch hitter, as we mentioned about Sarna and Lennon pinch hitting, with two away here and runners on first and third as the first pitch called for a strike 0-1. So Sarna sets, deals 0-2. So the 0-2 swung on and missed, got him, and the inning is over. So Sarna gets the Valiants out of trouble, coming in and getting a big punch out. The Valiants, though, go to the bottom of the sixth, trailing 10-2. You're watching us here on Go Valiants TV on YouTube. Some money out of the advertisement. As the first pitch is going to fall in, and that's going to be a double to lead off the inning.
So it was Michael Poggio Real coming in a pinch hit situation.
So Poggio Real in a pinch hit situation, as you just mentioned, getting a big hit to lead off the Valiants, and for the first time this game, the Valiants actually have runners in scoring position with no outs.
And that's been, obviously, like we said, playing a big part in why the score is what it is. When Manhattanville has had their opportunities, they haven't taken advantage of them. Misericordia has, and it's shown up with a 10-2 score. But get a good piece of hitting there by Poggio Real, just getting that one down the line, getting to second base.
It's excellent hustles. He steps in and takes the first pitch for a strike. So Cirilla on the day, 0 for 1, as pitch taken high, 1-1. So the 1-1 swung on and missed, 1-2. One, two. Phone in the air. Moving and making, no, dropping it. Yeah, did he make the catch?
Did, I believe. Catch was made.
They started looking down the ground, so I thought it fell. But a great backwards running catch by Boylan. And just like that, one away here in the bottom of the sixth. And I'll tell you, Misericordia has made some great defensive plays on the left side of the infield today, as both Arema and Boylan have made great strides as the first pitch is fouled down the left field line out of play.
And that was, on top of that, making that great defensive play, not allowing the runner to move over. Obviously, man, on second, no out, you would at the very least like to get him over to third base. Not able to accomplish anything there, but Manhattanville still with a chance to get him in as Kieran Corrigan up the bat.
So the 0-1, phone out in center field. Left fielder's going to call him off, make the play, so Emmerich making the play, and just like that, 2 away. So Roper will step in with the runner in scoring position as 2 outs. The plate, Gil Martin on deck. Well, actually, Lattarulo will be coming in to pinch hit, it seems, as the first pitch swung on a missed 0-1. As Lattarulo fouls that back 0-2. So Lattarulo looking to produce for an RBI here with runners, on second and 2 away. As deals the pitch, hit down to the third baseman. Making a great play and over to first was Arema, and the inning is over. So the Valiant strand a runner on second after a leadoff double. We head to the bottom of the sixth inning, or excuse me, the top of the seventh inning. Valiant's trail 10-2.
Great. I'll still do it. Hey, good Samaritan laws. I'm protected.
It's not good though. I kind of want to walk over and just say screw this.
She's not going anywhere. Trust me.
It'll be
I would hope.
if it's
I would hope that she. I can't imagine Brady would leave her there if she just felt that she wasn't breathing.
Well,
If she wasn't breathing, she probably would start freaking out.
I also don't think Braden, she would probably be freaking out. I also don't think if she was like throwing up, I don't think Braden would leave her there either.
This is going on smash, right?
It's whatever.
She ain't going nowhere. Got to realize she's alone. So hyped I got it though.
So we head to the top of the seventh inning. As Sarna continues to pitch, as Harema will step in. First pitch, taken high, 1-0. So 1-0. Call for a strike, 1-1. So that pitch is going to be fouled, 1-2. And actually, just updated on the mound for the Valiants is Gil Martin. So Gil Martin deals, and the pitch is taken outside. Count goes to full.
Obviously, with the end of the game being out of hand, just like to get maybe a few guys who wouldn't normally get some work, get them into a game, see if they can get these final 3 outs, as that one hits the batter.
Yep. So it'll be a full count hit by pitch. And with none away, they'll have a runner on first. And Abate about to come up to the plate here. As that pitch is lined to right field for a base. So a base hit for Abate will put runners in scoring position with none away. And now
It's going to be...
actually, I think it's a little bit behind here. So I believe that was Abate. They got the hit.
Yes, that was Abate. As quickly as we can. Is that one another hit? They're on the first pitch.
So it'll be bases loaded, no outs.
That was, I believe that was Tyler Hozap who got hit by the pitch there. I believe now it is Santo Guinta coming up to the plate with the bases loaded.
And Guinta already on the day, 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, and he had 4 RBIs in, 5 RBIs in game 1 with a grand slam. So when we talk about games, it's one of those days where he's definitely seen the ball excellent and obviously being a very excellent hitter himself. As the pitch is called for a strike. So the count goes to 1-1. So Quinta, bases loaded, Carton on deck. And I apologize, count 1 and 2 here. So the 1-2. That's going to get back. It looks like it's going to be a sac fly. Tagging and scoring will be Kerwin. And Misericordia now owns an 11-2 lead here in the top of the 7th.
So now, at that point, obviously, if you're Misericordia, obviously take that as sacrifice fly. You're in a position where you can't trade runs for outs. So good job getting the sac fly there. By Guinta getting another RBI, another run home, and 11.
So Carton up to the plate as he has a scoring opportunity. That ball's going to be hit over second. Bobbling and over to first. Gets him at first, but they couldn't get the runner at second, so runners on second and third. It was Latarulo.
An opportunity to really put the 40 in a doubleheader that they've dominated, particularly game two from start to finish.
So the 1-0 pitch as Gil Martin gets ready. Deals. Taken low, 2-0. Gil Martin deals 2-0. Taken inside, 3-0.
If you're Will Martin, you can almost afford even to put the runner on first with first base open. You set up a force at any base. Obviously, you'd like to get out of the inning, but not the end of the world should you walk the batter.
So Emmerich works a 2-out walk. He walked his first plate appearance as well. So 2 walks on the day. And now stepping up with bases loaded will be Ryan Cahill. As the left-handed hitter, certainly want to take advantage here of this bases loaded situation against the Valiants here in the top of the 7th. That ball is going to be hit down to the first baseman. Getting over and making the out. And that's going to end the inning. So they strand, the bases loaded, but they do score 1 run. As Misericordia leads it over the Valiants 11-2. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. A 9-run deficit the Valiants will have to make up. No, he fucking didn't. Did he really?
That's why I started laughing at the beginning of the inning. I couldn't talk. And then she just looks at him like a cat and just gives him the finger and then just falls back down. It was hysterical. Oh, she's trying to get your attention.
Oh. I was coming. Speaking. And welcome back here to the bottom of the 7th inning as the Valiants trail by 9 runs. Gil Martin will lead off for the Valiants here as
I believe we're going to have another pitcher for Misericordia as
it's going
well.
to be Magaldi, I believe.
Goldie, a 4.22 ERA on the season in 10 2/3 innings pitched. So Manhattanville, obviously a lot of ground to make up, likely shifting your focus at this point to Kings tomorrow afternoon. Start time for that one, 2 p.m. But nothing else. Just try to get, even if you can get a few runs across the board, build a little momentum, just feel good about something as you're going towards the end of this game, because there hasn't been a lot to feel good about pretty much the entire day for the second leg of this doubleheader.
No, there's not much in games like this that you can really take from other than maybe the productive at-bats and the full counts that they've been able to work throughout the day. So that being a positive moving forward and going into the game against Kings, that only makes that game even so more important if you're able to work counts.
Bill Martin will now get after cleaning up in mop-up duty in the top of the 7th, will get at that 400 average on the season.
And 0 for 1 in his first appearance as a pitch taken outside. And as you mentioned about Magaldi, 4.22 ERA, but 9 strikeouts in 10 2/3 innings, certainly pretty solid, considering in fact you're looking at just under a strikeout an inning, but overall an efficient job out of the bullpen as that pitch is called for a strike. The count now 1-2. So the 1-2 to Gil Martin. fouled.
So good, Martin. Like you were mentioning just a little bit earlier, just finding ways to stay in at bats, getting your money's worth out of the at bat. Obviously, things haven't gone well to this point today, but like you said, if there's anything you're able to take away as Kumar going to be out at first, it's just the fact that you guys had some productive at bats, were able to work the pitcher a little bit, make them work. Just anything you can look to take from this game because, like we said earlier, not a lot of positives to take out of this one.
Well, if I think there's one thing the Valiants can wish, I think throughout the series here in innings instead of having mostly 2-out production. I think that's one thing the Valiants can really focus on moving forward and being more selective with their pitches. You know, swinging early on in counts do kind of cost a few pitches as the first pitch taken outside, but when you look at it, you know, being selective and working counts, it makes it just so much harder for a pitcher. And compared to the first game we watched Koch, as this ball is hit high into the air, racing back is the left fielder right in front of the warning track, making the 7th inning.
Misericordia certainly gave that one a ride towards the warning track, not able to get.
You know, taking those approaches, I think, is certainly something that's exception of the final 2 outs. And going to this game, they did a good job getting out the starting pitcher early into the 4th inning. So you look at that as a difference of working counts and being efficient. The Valiants were able to do that here in the second game.
But not able to capitalize, though. And like you said, the big thing was having 1 or 2 outs before any runners got on base. Misericordia got guys on with nobody out. They were able to push those guys over and eventually get them in.
And I think there's also great learning lessons when you look at Misericordia that Manhattanville can take in as well, with just the way that they've been able to work the hitters, not just on the mound, but even at the plate. There's a lot to take in, but it's going to be a big game for them tomorrow, and that's where I think Manhattanville is going to really come into play, as that's going to be a walk. So a 2-out walk drawn by Ramos, and Coleman will come up to the plate here. And I think another thing too, just also aforementioned, going into tomorrow's game against Kings, both teams are going to want it. Both teams really desire that 4th spot, and the Valiants are going to do whatever they can to get into it. So you're going to see a really great game tomorrow.
Oh, both teams know how important that game is. That game will certainly have a factor in how the standings play out at the end of the year. So both teams are going to definitely need to bring their A game for tomorrow afternoon's 2 o'clock start.
As the 1-1 pitch, it's going to be fouled out of play, 1-2. The 1-2 swung on and missed, and the ball game is over. So Mez 3 sweep compared second game 11-2. As the final stat line in this game, Misericordia 11 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. Valiants 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors. And it's been what I'd say a very strong series for Misericordia. But now fast forwarding tomorrow for the Valiants, obviously, as we mentioned, a lot of learning lessons. But going tomorrow against Kings, a huge matchup that really decides the season for them.
Oh, absolutely. If they aren't able to come away with a victory tomorrow, their chances of making the conference tournament aren't completely gone, but get that much more difficult. And obviously, like to make as easy a path for yourself as you can. And this was for Misericordia. They're fighting for something too. They're fighting for first place in the MAC Freedom. They are currently behind the Sales in the state. They needed to win this game today, and it showed up on the scoreboard.
So, Valiants fans, we will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. as the Valiants host Kings, PA, right here at Manhattanville College. I've been Tim Moore, alongside Mike Priest, alongside my partner Mike, and we'll see you tomorrow here at Manhattanville College. What's your last name? So bad. I'm like did great. We kept the 2 viewers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's because all the two